Zedd, Emperor of all I see.
For many fans of Power Rangers, Lord Zedd appeared out of nowhere. One day, the Rangers were fighting Rita Repulsa. The next, a new villain arrived, more powerful, more terrifying, and far more dangerous. His skin looked like exposed muscle, his voice echoed like thunder, and his palace stood above the moon like the throne of a god. Lord Zedd didn't just replace Rita Repulsa. He humiliated her, stripped her of command, and took control of her entire army. To millions of kids watching in the 90s, Lord Zedd was simply the new villain, the Emperor of Evil. But the show never fully explained something important. Where did Lord Zedd actually come from? Because behind the terrifying armor and glowing staff, there's a dark story the series barely revealed. A story that begins long before the Power Rangers ever existed. Thousands of years before the events of the series, the universe was already divided between two forces, order and chaos. The guardians of order were known as the Morphin Masters, ancient beings who protected the Morphin grid, the source of the Rangers' powers. But wherever light exists, darkness eventually rises to challenge it. And in the distant past, one warrior became obsessed with conquering that power, a being who would later be known as Lord Zedd. Before he became the Emperor of Evil, Zedd was something else entirely. A conqueror, a cosmic warlord who traveled from planet to planet, building an empire. His goal wasn't simply destruction, it was domination. Zedd believed the universe was meant to be ruled by strength. The weak existed only to serve the powerful. Entire worlds fell under his command. Armies of monsters, alien warriors, creatures loyal only to his will. But even with all that power, Zedd wanted something greater. He wanted the Morphin grid itself, because whoever controlled the grid would control the power that created the Rangers. And if Zedd controlled it, no hero could ever stop him. Eventually, Zedd discovered something extraordinary, a small planet with enormous connection to the Morphin grid, Earth. But Earth was already protected, guarded by a powerful wizard, Zordon. Long before the Power Rangers were teenagers in colorful suits, Zordon was already fighting a war against evil across the universe. And when Zedd arrived on Earth, the two became enemies. Their battle would shape the fate of the planet for thousands of years. Zedd attacked Earth again and again, sending monsters, destroying cities, testing Zordon's defenses. But the wizard refused to surrender the planet. Finally, Zedd launched a massive assault, an invasion meant to destroy Zordon forever. The battle that followed was catastrophic. Ancient cities were destroyed. Entire regions of the planet were devastated. And during the final confrontation, Zordon used a desperate spell, a powerful time distortion that trapped him inside an energy tube, the same tube who would remain in during the events of the Power Rangers series. But the spell had another effect. It forced Zedd to retreat, not defeated, but pushed back. For centuries, Zedd waited, watching Earth from the shadows of space, planning his return. Eventually, Zedd found the perfect opportunity. Another villain had already begun attacking Earth, Rita Repulsa. But Rita was reckless, impulsive. She treated her attacks like games. To Zedd, she was an embarrassment. So he decided to intervene. When Lord Zedd finally arrived at the Moon Palace, he didn't negotiate. He didn't ask permission. He simply declared himself ruler. Rita was humiliated, her monsters destroyed, her authority gone. And from that moment forward, the war against the Power Rangers changed, because Lord Zedd wasn't like the villains before him. He didn't just send monsters randomly. He studied the Rangers, adapted, built stronger weapons, more powerful monsters, more advanced strategies. For the first time since the Rangers gained their powers, they were facing an enemy who might actually win. But there's something even darker about Zedd's story, because despite all his power, despite his terrifying appearance, Zedd was still trapped in the same war that began thousands of years earlier, the war against Zordon. Every monster he sent, every plan he created, every battle he fought was just another attempt to finish the fight that started long ago. A war between two ancient enemies that shaped the fate of Earth. And that's the dark truth about Lord Zedd. He wasn't just another villain who appeared halfway through the show. He was the continuation of an ancient conflict, a conqueror who had been fighting for control of Earth long before the Power Rangers were even born. A warlord who believed the universe belonged to the strongest.